Hey everyone, Rang your engineer here, back to deliver you some good content for another day. And today I want to talk about getting work experience, internships, and grad positions, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You study to get a job. And to get a job, you need experience. And to get experience, you need experience. So I'm here to show you how you can use 3 different ways. So 1, 2, 3 different ways that you can think outside the box. And if you use these, you'll be able to find that unusual way of getting that work experience, that internship, that grad position that no one else will think of. Now, I've used these tips and tricks myself in various ways. And I've taught them to the couple of students that I mentor, and they've been able to use them successfully as well. But before I get onto them, what is the normal way of applying for work experience and grad positions? Well, we do what everyone else does, and that is the big companies go, splat, here's a job description, here's an application process on a careers website, and we apply for it. Whether that be things like Seek, Grad Connect, UniGrad, any other job board, or their own careers site. They just go, here's the job listing, here's how you apply, go nuts. And thousands of people apply for very few jobs. There might only be 10 jobs going at a company, but there'll be 3,000 people apply, 4,000 people apply. Now you might be at the very, very top of your cohort and you'll get one of these no problem. But if you're like the rest of us mere mortals, that includes me, you have to fight tooth and nail to find positions that you can apply for and that will accept you, because we all know the feeling. You apply for 20, 30, 40 jobs and you get nothing back. So the first way that I want to talk about is using your networks. People you know who know other people who know other people. If you've ever heard the expression, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or 6 degrees of separation, basically the idea is that within you and you know someone who knows someone who knows someone, so within 6 steps, you can hit anyone on earth. They've actually just revised this in the last couple of years. It's now 5.4 steps. So the world's shrinking in. And who are your networks? Well, the obvious one is your parents. Your parents know a lot of people, often in more managerial positions. So they might know someone who's looking for a graduate. It could be a sporting coach. It could be like a musical conductor that if you're in a band. It could be someone within the community that you're doing community outreach or volunteering with, or maybe just a family friend who you look up to and who knows you. And I'd like to share a story about how I got my first real uni job working part-time through my networks. And disclaimer, I don't like the who you know, not what you know method. I don't think it fits. It's not authentic, because you should be picked on merit, not because you know the right people. But we're increasingly living in a world where who you know is important. So you've got to either accept it and use it, or be up against it and be disadvantaged by it. And the story I want to share is my first real summertime part-time job working through uni was working at the local cinema. Now, I was serving drinks and popcorn and ripping tickets and cleaning cinemas and generally just having an absolute ball with great people. It was a lot of fun. But I'd applied for an open position that was advertised in the local paper and online at the end of my first year of uni. And what happened was I applied, put in the resume, never heard back. Not thanks for application, but you're not the right person, just nothing. And that was really disheartening. And the next year, I thought I'll give it another crack, because I hadn't got anything else. It was a bit earlier in the year. And my dad does some business buying movie tickets for a social club. And he buys quite a large volume, so he knows, he's got to know the general manager. And so one day when he was going in buying a couple of books of movie tickets, he took me in with him and he said to the general manager, look, this is my son. He's looking for just some part-time work over summer when he's back from uni. You need people when it's busy over summer. He needs work. Have you got anything that he could do? So the general manager said, look, I'll see what I can do and I'll get back to you. Next week, phone call, general manager, yep, we got something for you. Same place, same position. I just went in with using a network. Again, I don't necessarily disagree with it, but who am I to turn down employment for some experience? So that's number one. Use your networks. Parents, friends, family friends, sporting coach, music conductor, someone in the community, anything that you know, people you know who know other people. The second thing is cold calling and cold emailing. This is the way it used to be done. You used to go and you go down the strip of shops and you drop your resume into every single one of them and ask to see the manager. And that's how people used to get jobs. And it's now underutilized because there are companies out there who don't openly advertise for positions or who might be happy to take on a grad or a student for an internship or be happy to fill a role. And this is how I got my 12-week summer internship at the end of my penultimate year before I started my final year. And I'd applied to all the big companies online and just got rejection after rejection at various stages of the process. So I went looking through long lists of companies in the engineering field. Luckily, my uni had a massive list of over 1,000 countries. I started looking at Engineers Australia posts from 7 years back, trying to find companies that I could apply, I could contact and see if they had anything running. Anyway, there was this one company that did sort of mechatronic diagnostic equipment, and I reached out and I emailed, just out of the blue, completely cold, they had a contact us at company.com. So I thought, what have I got to lose? So emailed, it was at 5:15 or something like that. Wasn't expecting a response that week, if at all. Anyway, 5 minutes later, bing, email comes in. Hi, we'd like to, you seem like you know what you're talking about. You seem like an interesting person. I'd attached a blurb of myself and my resume. I'll forward this on to one of our engineering managers and we'll get back to you. You're like, all right, sweet. Reply, thanks, that'd be awesome. How's that for going above and beyond? After the workday's finished, receptionist or someone still working responds back. Then a couple of days later, I think it was the next Tuesday, I get an email saying, yep, I'd like you to come in for an interview. I got an interview for a company I just emailed out of the blue. This is awesome. So cut a long story short, went in for the interview and they actually did have a legacy great internship program that they had sort of put on ice, but were open to having people come back in and firing it back up again. So it was kind of right place at the right time, but I'd sent out multiple of these, 30 or 40 of these cold emails. And eventually you got to get one, right? Law of averages. So went in, had an interview, they were happy with me, 12 weeks work experience, awesome. So we've had using networks, also lecturers. Lecturers are a great source because they know people in the industry. So using networks, cold emailing or cold calling. So that's 2 points. Now the third one is quite unusual. That's why I've left it to last. And that is ring up or cold email or whatever and ask if they've got nothing or they can't spare anyone to babysit you, ask if you can be put on their Year 10 work experience program. Because a lot of companies, I'm not sure what it's like in the rest of the world, but in Australia, most Year 10 students have to do, as part of their school curriculum, 1 week work experience in an area that they think they might want to go into. And so I did this back in Year 10. I went and worked for a bit of an IT, sort of data running cabling company. It was to do with the subject I was doing. And I'd never thought of this approach. And it wasn't until I contacted, just out of the blue, this hydraulic engineer's place. Now, hydraulic engineer wasn't exactly what I wanted to go into, but they were one of the few places in my hometown that actually were real engineers. Because you look up engineers and you get a lot of mechanical engineers, mechanics, electrical engineers, or electricians. Not what I'm after. I'm after actual engineers. And so I went in, I emailed them and then went in and dropped the resume off. And they said, look, we don't have anything long-term, like we can't offer you like 4 weeks or 12 weeks, but you're more than welcome to do our Year 10 work experience program for a week. I was put on the spot a bit of thinking, hang on, I'm not a Year 10, I'm like, second or third, I forget which year uni student. I've got skills, I'm not a Year 10, I'm not a 16-year-old. But then I thought, wait a minute, experience is still experience. And if they're willing to give me a week, I could go to other companies in a week here and a week here and a week here, and all of a sudden I've worked for 3 different companies and I've got experience all around and I've built up that network. So I said, all right, let's do it. So I did the typical Year 10 work experience program. I spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday following different people around, and Friday I got to pick where I wanted to go back to, which was really good. And it built up my networks, it built up confidence and gave me experience, and it was something that I could actually put on a resume. And that's something that I'd never ever thought of before. No one had ever told me to look for that, because at the end of the day, some experience is better than no experience. And it's something that you can fit in, say, in a semester break, mid-year break or mid-term break, when you've only got a week or a couple of weeks. It's something you can just fit in. And that's something that I've now told a couple of my younger student mentor, that I'm mentoring, that maybe they're not ready, they're not qualified enough, skilled enough, knowledgeable enough to do the full 12-week summer internship, but they'll be able to be picked up by a company for a week here and another company for a week there. And then they've got the extra experience, and that's how you get experience without experience. You've got to be willing to take a little bit of a kick to the ego. I'm not a Year 10 student, why should I do that? No, you're missing the point. It's about doing what it takes to get any experience, and then that'll snowball. You get a week here, then all of a sudden you've got a week at this place, another place will take you for a week, and now you get 2 weeks, and then you might get a 3rd week. And then when you apply for that internship over summer, that's the really big stepping stone. You've already got some experience over here. Even if it's only a week, you can fudge a little bit with the resume and just have say January to January, or LinkedIn only does one month increments. So if you work for a week, LinkedIn automatically says that's a month. That's a good trick. But you've now got experience that you wouldn't have otherwise got. And then that'll roll in and you get the internship because you've got this experience. And you get the grad job because you've got the internship, because you've got this experience. And that's the secret, is just whatever you need to do to leverage. Use your networks. Ask everybody you know if they know anyone who knows someone, and don't be afraid to go multiple steps down the line. Don't be afraid to reach out and cold email and cold call. And don't be afraid to take a bit of a kick to the psyche and ask about a Year 10 program, because a lot of companies already have that in place. They might not have the framework to do a full 12-week internship, but they can do it a week, or maybe they might offer, you can do that for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And then that's how you get the experience. So that's the trick I want to leave you with today. How to get experience when you don't have experience, and how to get your foot in the door and build your networks and get ready for that big, important internship, and then that grad position that is the holy grail that we all want. So again, if you found this useful, if you think this sort of content and these insights are going to be useful, leave a like, leave a comment down below. Tell me your biggest insight and what you'd like to learn more of, because then I can structure my content for you. Because at the end of the day, I'm sharing this stuff with a couple of students anyway. I'm getting it out there, so you guys might as well benefit as well. Why keep it to only 2 or 3 people a year when I could benefit everyone? So leave a like, leave a comment, and tell me what was the best thing, what did you learn, what was the biggest insight you took away from this, and what do you want to hear more of in the future? And remember that engineering, it's not just a career, it's a way of life, and I'll see you again tomorrow for another video.